You're listening to an archived Cabral Concept podcast. After listening to this show, check out the most up-to-date podcasts available at stephencabral.com/podcasts or search directly on iTunes. And now, welcome to the Cabral Concept, where board-certified naturopath and integrative health practitioner Dr. Stephen Cabral shares how he was diagnosed at the age of 17 with a life-altering illness and given no hope for recovery. It was only after studying and traveling all over the world did he discover how to combine ancient Ayurvedic healing practices with state-of-the-art naturopathic and functional medicine to fully rebalance the body and re-energize it with life. It's time to discover how to get well, lose weight, and finally feel alive again. And now, here's your host, Dr. Stephen Cabral.
Today, we're getting started with our Friday review. So we've had a great week. I do hope that you've tuned in for our previous shows this week. We went over everything on our Mindset and Motivation Monday, from getting comfortable with being uncomfortable. Always one of my favorites. It was a big show on growth and really how to take this year, 2017, to that next level. So please do check that out. On our Total Wellness Tuesday, we talked about, is caffeine safe? The risks and the benefits, and who it may be good for and who it's detrimental for. Then on our Weight Loss Wednesday, we talked about the top 3 reasons why people fail at weight loss. And this is a big one because there are many reasons, right? And people kind of seem to go on these different diets and get a little progress and then fall back. And so I talk about those 3 main reasons that if you just change these 3 things, you're going to be a lot more, not only comfortable at losing weight this time around, it's going to be more stress-free, easier to maintain, no doubt about that. And then yesterday on our Training Thursday, really what we talked about is how to bulletproof your body. So training what you don't see. And I think that's so important because what happens is we kind of get stuck in the same routine, training muscles in the same exact way, and it doesn't lead to long-term progress. But today we're on our Friday review. And what I want to do right now is talk about a natural facial mask. So basically a mask that you can put on your face that will help to shrink your pores, help with acne, and pull out a lot of the impurities that leave us with, that not so great toned skin. Maybe it's a little too oily, a little too dry, or it's just kind of imbalanced overall and it's starting to look a little bit aged. So this is one thing that I've used myself. My wife certainly uses it, and we talk about a lot in our wellness practice. We're talking about anti-aging and just good overall skincare. Sometimes I think we like to overcomplicate natural health as well. And this natural mask, which I think you can buy all the ingredients for under $20, which is, a bargain, right? Since it might cost, for a good facial, $150 or so, $150, you're going to get all the benefits, and the products will just not last you one treatment. They're going to last you probably I don't even know, maybe 6 to 12 treatments. So let's get right into that now. I've got a lot of great things today. So, check out the entire episode, a great book that just came out. So one of my favorite products that I use every single day for my morning green juice as well. So with our natural facial mask, and I'm going to write these steps out on the show notes page. So of course, just go to stephencabral.com/342, and I will lay it out step by step for that. So what I want to talk about though is the simple ingredients that you're going to need to get started. The best time to do this is absolutely before bed, and just make sure you're not about to go out, let's say an hour or 2 hours later after you do this mask. A lot of people, they like to do that. They like their skin to look its freshest. But just remember, with any natural facial or natural peel for the face where you're drawing out these impurities, it could be a little red. It just could be a little bit more red afterwards. It's not harmful, but what it's doing is it's working that top layer of dermis, the top layer of skin. So I need you to just get really 2 products. That's it. And I want you to find a good bentonite clay. So we use what's called a French green clay. I will link that up in the show notes. But also there's a great one by Aztec Secret, and it's called Bentonite Indian Healing Clay. That's an excellent one as well. Now, there's a lot of great bentonite clays, right? I really like the French green clay. It seems to have a lot more mineral, and basically what clay does, it has this magnetic ionic property. That's natural of all clay. What that does is it means it literally draws out. So if you put it on your feet, it draws out impurities from the feet. If you put it on your armpits, draws out impurities there. Put it on your face and draws out blackheads and oil and acne and all the bacteria on your face as well. Works incredibly well. Now, there's 2 ways to do this mask. So one is a chemical type peel, which obviously natural, of course, and the other is just a regular mask that you're going to let dry out and pull right out of your face. I recommend starting with this drier one first, and that's simply adding water to bentonite clay in some type of glass or ceramic bowl. Try not to use a metal bowl because bentonite clay, and which I'm about to talk about in a moment, apple cider vinegar, can draw the metals out of the bowl. So what we're using is just a glass bowl, a ceramic bowl. You don't need a lot, just about 2 tablespoons of the bentonite clay or the green clay. And you're going to put in just enough water, just add a little bit at a time to make a mixture where it turns to a thick mud. You can't have this runny. If it came out too runny, just add a little bit more bentonite clay to it. You want this a thick mud. You want to let it sit for about 5 minutes or so. And then while you're letting it sit, what you can do is this. So let me step back 1 second. And the reason is I also want to give you the chemical peel. So try this dry one first. I'm going to take you through. And then the next time, instead of using water, or maybe add 1 part water to 1 part apple cider vinegar, and then if that works okay in your skin, because remember, I don't know the sensitivity of your skin, instead of using water, you can actually use apple cider vinegar. Now, apple cider vinegar is acidic. It's acidic while it's in the bottle, and as it moves through the body, it's alkaline because of the higher amount of minerals. So, but when it's on your face, that's acidic. So when you mix it with the clay, it's almost like an acid peel. Your skin will be a little pink after you're done with it, and you'll want to try it for less amount of time, but you can try that as well. All right, so let's get into it. First, you're just going to use the water instead of the apple cider vinegar your first time through, and you're going to mix that with the clay. It makes a nice little mud. Again, don't have it be thicker rather than thinner. Let that sit for 5 minutes. While you're letting it sit, I like people to wash their face first, right? So you've kind of gone through your day. This is a nice spa day you're giving yourself that night, or spa night treatment. What you want to do is you want to use a facial scrub. I like the walnut scrub by Himalayan, they make great products. They stopped selling their shampoo and conditioner in the U.S., which is too bad. We used to carry them in our wellness center. We really like that in our spa shower. But they still do sell the walnut scrub, so I'll link that up in the show notes. It's a nice one to just give the face a nice, gentle little scrub, and then use a washcloth, a hot washcloth, to open up your pores and just wash and cleanse your face after that. After you're done washing, dry your face. Just pat your face dry. Don't rub it too hard. And then what I want you to do is then apply the mud mask. So you can just use your hands, or you can use a wood stick, like a little spatula if you'd like. Now, I just use your hands. You can put it right on your face. And then what you can do is you're going to put it, it's not too thick, it's just thick enough so that you can't see your skin through it. You're going to apply that over your forehead, down your nose, over your nose, on your cheeks, on your chin. You don't need to do your neck, and you're not going to do your eyes specifically, okay? So you keep it away from the eyes. So above the eyebrow, and then right below where we get those, circles and bags and all that under your eyes, we're going to go right below that. So you're just going to hang out. You can read a book. You can, watch your favorite show, and you're going to let that dry. So anywhere from 10 to 15 minutes. Now, if you're using the apple cider vinegar mixture, you're going to keep it on anywhere from 5 minutes to 15 minutes, and it may not dry out all the way because apple cider vinegar, again, different pH, it's not going to dry in the same exact way. So you might find that one doesn't dry all the way out. The nice thing about just the water and the clay is that it literally dries all the way out. You almost feel it cracking on your face. You feel your face kind of tightening up, and that is, it's time to wash it off. So you just go right to the sink, use just some warm water, wash that off the face. When it's off, use a nice hot washcloth again to just pat your face. I kind of take the washcloth and I put it over my face just to kind of let those pores open up again. And then you just pat your face dry. Once you're done patting your face dry, you're going to apply some natural oil, whatever moisturizer you use. I personally only recommend oils. I recommend natural oils. I think I've spoken about it before in the Cabral Concept Friday review. If not, I will absolutely talk about it again. I don't talk enough about skincare, but this was by popular request, so I did want to get this out there. So the one that I choose is argan oil. I like organic argan oil. I think it's great for the face. It's not too greasy. It absorbs in within about 3 to 5 minutes. Any excess, you can simply just pat dry with a towel. It's a very simple product. It's one ingredient. It's argan oil, and it's all organic, and it's not expensive. So again, there are many other great products. Like my wife knows a lot more about this than I do. I keep things simple, right? Really, really simple. I use coconut soap on a typical daily basis. I'll use walnut scrub after maybe a good workout, and I don't do anything else. I just use argan oil on my face once it's done, just because I have, especially in New England during October to May, you have heat on, and when you're with this heat, it's so dry and it just sucks the moisture out of your skin. So moisturizers are fine to block extra moisture from coming out, but really what you want is an oil, a natural organic oil, to put some of that moisture back into the skin. So That is your natural facial mask. It works incredibly well. You can use it with apple cider vinegar as the chemical peel, natural chemical peel, which will take off like kind of that top layer and any different impurities. Works fantastically well. And then the regular mask is the first one to try out. Just see the sensitivity of your skin. Always start out with less time than more, so you can just judge on how you do. And again, bag of French green clay or a bottle of that Aztec bentonite clay, well, it'll last you like 6 months, honestly. It'll last you a long time. How often to do this? Once a week? I mean, if you really want to. I certainly don't do it that much. I don't do a lot of like skincare-based routines, but you absolutely could do it once a week. No issues with that at all. Okay, moving on. So 2 more great things to review. One is something that I'm now using every day, like twice a day now, because I'm like a little kid with a new toy. And I don't know how this ever escaped me. So it's kind of embarrassing, but a little confession to make. Every day when I made my greens drink in the morning, so you probably heard about my routine before, but when I wake up in the morning, I pour myself about 6 ounces or so of water, maybe 8 ounces. And the first thing I do before that is I squeeze a half a lemon in there. Now I get organic lemons, and of course they have seeds in them because that's natural. And the seeds go into the mason jar. I use a glass mason jar. So I'm always picking the seeds out with my spoon after I do that. And then I'm throwing them in the trash. So all of a sudden, I find about this thing that's called a lemon squeezer. Now, you're probably laughing because you've most likely heard about this far before I have, but it's like life-changing when you find this type of thing. I now, because I was like shying away from doing lemons because it was such a mess. Now, literally, you cut a lemon in half, you put it inside this like cup thing that presses another cup on top, and the lemon juice moves through the holes. It's brilliant. It's simple. It's a lemon squeezer. I'm going to link it up in the show notes. I'm going to link up 2 different ones. I like the one that's stainless steel with the silicone handles. It's super simple. So no matter how hard I squeeze that lemon, like put like a death grip on it, this squeezer gets out way more juice. So nothing's wasted. It's amazing. So like literally sometimes even after dinner, I'll make a glass of water with just fresh squeezed lemon and maybe like a touch of raw honey. And it like curbs that sweet tooth at the dinner because I'm not into desserts at the dinner. They're not healthy for you. So, of course, once a week, maybe I'll do something, but not on a typical daily basis. And I'll make one for myself, one for my wife. It's just like a nice little thing that I've been doing lately, most likely just because I like using this little lemon squeezer. So now I use this lemon, I squeeze it in the cup, I add my water to it, and then I add my greens powder. I mix it up, and it works just phenomenally well. So, of course, if I'm using it and you didn't know about it, there's got to be at least one other person who didn't know about this lemon squeezer. But it's life-changing, absolutely life-changing. All right, and speaking of life-changing, no pun intended here, there's a great book that I want to review with you. So the book is actually, it's a beautiful book. Like, I mean, I write a lot of articles, do a lot of podcasts, speak. I love, all this content. I love creating books. I love creating things that are kind of getting a message out there to people. Well, there's this book by medical medium. His name's Anthony William. I've spoken with him before. He's actually, so people give him a hard time because he is basically a medical intuitive. And I don't even know if I'm saying that right, so I apologize if that's not the right way. But he's a brilliant man. He's extremely well-spoken. He's extremely smart. And I recommend checking out this book. One, because it's simply a beautiful book. I don't know how much this thing must have cost. It's a hardcover book for $17.99. Again, I've published books in the past. I don't know how you make a book like this for $17.99. It's a full-color, hardcover, beautiful book called Life-Changing Foods. It's called Life-Changing Foods, Save Yourself and the Ones You Love with the Hidden Healing Powers of Fruits and Vegetables. So, you've heard me say before, no matter what diet you follow, I don't care what diet it is in the world, the majority of it, 60 to 80%, is supposed to be fruits and vegetables. If it's not, there's a major problem. Any guru you're following, I don't care who it is, if they're telling you for long term, now I'm not talking about short term, I'm talking about long term, you are not on 60 to 80% produce in your diet, then they are missing the concept that we are humans with a digestive tract that was absolutely supposed to digest fruits and vegetables. So you're going to want to check this book. So let me just tell you a little bit about it. Basically, there is a picture, beautiful picture of a food on one page. Like, I'm going to give you an example, like celery, right? Celery is like just not this sexy food that we talk about a lot, right? But celery, it will give you this photo and then tell you a little bit about it. And with celery, one of the amazing things is, and he's absolutely correct, I want to give you the science. So he's going to talk about, I'm going to give you the science behind why he is right. So celery has been shown to help people with GI-based disorders, with high blood pressure, with acid reflux, with GERD, and with adrenal fatigue or any energy-based issue. And here's the reason why. So yes, that is absolutely true. And the reason why he's correct is that celery naturally contains a high level of sodium. And when a food contains a natural high level of sodium, guess what it does? It helps replenish the sodium that the adrenal glands need that might be lost through promotion of a hormone called aldosterone, which promotes sometimes dumping of sodium in extreme cases, which happens often actually. And also a big thing is this, is that sodium, think of it this way, your stomach acid is hydrogen chloride. So it's basically hydrogens and chloride. Sodium helps replenish more of that chloride as well. So it builds back up those digestive juices. So that's just one of the foods that he talks about. He talks about ginger, how it helps with muscle spasms, how it helps cleanse the kidneys, same with celery, and how it works for nausea, how it helps, well, it does help with detoxification, again, through the kidneys. And overall, how it's great for the Vata body type. He doesn't talk about that, but really anyone with kind of that burnt out, weak feeling, anyone that's feeling cold. So it's a great book. It kind of goes step by step, one by one for each food. And you know why? I'm telling you, eating healthy is a commitment, right? We all know it's a commitment. It's so much easier to buy processed food. But when you read this, you understand you're doing so much good for your body. So much good that we don't even think about on a daily basis. And books like this really reaffirm it. So I'm going to link up that. I'm going to link up the lemon squeeze. I'm going to link up the products for the natural facial mask. I'm going to link up the oil that I use. I'm going to link up the walnut scrub, all that great stuff for you. So again, always tune in. Just go to StephenCabral.com/podcast. And for today's show, you would just click on StephenCabral.com/342. Thank you everyone for tuning in. I appreciate every one of your listens. I really do this for you. And I honestly, it's a great pleasure of mine. If you feel this information could help anyone else, please do feel free to pass along to them. And remember, every weekend I'm answering your questions. All you have to do is go to StephenCabral.com/Ask Cabral. And those, when they're submitted, will be answered every weekend on the Cabral House Calls. Take care, everyone. I want to sincerely thank you for your support of this podcast. I couldn't do it without you, and I mean that. I truly do. I also want to make sure you knew that we now have multiple ways for you to find your answers to the most difficult health, wellness, weight loss, and anti-aging questions. You can find podcast-specific topics like thyroid, adrenal, hormones, sleep, digestion, Ayurveda, and many more at StephenCabral.com/podcasts that will then link you to your favorite Apple, Spotify, and other podcast players. Plus, all new podcasts and weekly exclusive video content is being added to our YouTube channel at youtube.com/Stephen Cabral. And that's Stephen with a PH. Head on over and subscribe so that you don't miss any of the exclusive content. Lastly, if you've ever found any of my podcasts or books to be helpful, I would really appreciate it if you could leave a review on iTunes or your favorite media player for the podcast. Rating and subscribing to the YouTube and podcast allow me to reach more and more people and help spread my mission of healing throughout the world. Thank you again for being a part of this movement.